longings over truth.
The food go overseas and die for freedom. There's some oil we can use. Our democracy exists so that you think that you can choose, but our algorithms make you do what we want you to do. What's the problem? Your depressed society has you confused. We got medication for you that you'll probably abuse. Go get married to a lady who also don't have a clue, and pump out a few babies that are just the same as you.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Boom. Mr. Tom McDonald. Bad son of a bitch right there. All right. Welcome to this Monday morning edition. It happens to be the day they call Independence Day. And I had some contention with that today. A little bit. Imagine that, huh? Yeah. I'm not celebrating it today. I don't think there's anything to be celebrating. There's not much to be proud of. We still are killing people inside and outside the borders on a daily basis. People are dying because of this country. And that's not really anything that I want to get, I don't really want to get behind that, especially when we have the things that are going on here. I don't know if a couple people saw my Facebook post I put out earlier. I'll just put it out here right now. I've got 2 trucks here that each one has a bed full of good firewood. I'd be happy to deliver it to anybody for free, as I put on the Facebook post. If the first 2 people to put fire emojis in the comments will get basically a free cord of wood. A cord of wood is 4x4x8. The bed of my truck is 8 feet. And, it's like 6 feet wide, I guess. And it's stacked about 3 feet high. So, do the math, give or take. It's free firewood. If you need firewood, I'm just trying to, I don't have any, I don't have like a wood burning stove here. I just have a fireplace that it's never even been used. So I saved some firewood just in case of an emergency, rainy day situation, something like that. But I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to be hurting this winter. If the energy costs keep going up and up and up and up, people are going to be having even more problems than they are now. We're all having problems right now. This straight up sucks. And nobody cares. That's my problem with today. Because you say it's Independence Day. Independence. We ain't independent. We are sitting here and we're just sucked onto this machine that we got in this country, right? And we just do and go along with whatever they say. We elect these people to go represent us, and they don't represent us. They just go and do whatever they want. And none of us care. And that's my problem. Nobody cares. We are the majority. You, me, everybody in this country. I don't give a shit anything. I don't give a shit about any of these demographics or whatever. Are you alive? Are you breathing? Are you still on this rock that's spinning around at breakneck speeds around a big fireball in the sky? If you're on the rock, you're still breathing, then you're my brother, you're my sister. Whatever you want to be. Within reason. It makes me think of, I was watching Matt Walsh's documentary, and this is something that his documentary is basically, I think it was called, What is a Woman? That's pretty remedial, right? I would say that everybody in my generation if we weren't in the ridiculous, insane times that we are now, we would be like, what do you mean? What kind of question is that? What? But now that's a question. And, there was a scene in there where he asked an individual, and I couldn't figure out what was going on with the individual. I don't know. It's almost even like criminal to even guess anymore. I don't know how you approach somebody. Personally, I like to hold doors open for people. I like to do nice things. If I see a lady struggling or whatever, and like say trying to put groceries in the car or something, Now, I usually give them a start when I walk up because obviously, but I'm not a bad person. I love it how the camera just knows. It's like it knows. It's like, I know you're getting ready to start the show and I'm just going to fuck you up. But no, I mean, so what do you do? I mean, what do? You have to say, excuse me, ma'am. And then you get, you're going to get chastised if you're wrong. It's like playing fucking butt darts for Jesus or lawn darts in the house, You don't know what you're going to hit. You don't know. I mean, you take your best guess and you roll with it. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, and I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful to anybody, but for 1% of the population to run 99% of the population, it seems pretty ridiculous. I got no problem with being respectful towards people. I got no problem with respect. I don't care. Whatever. It's your life. It's your time on the rock hurtling around the big giant fireball. It doesn't last long. Do what you got to do to make yourself happy. I mean, that's a repeated fundamental of the show. As long as you're not doing any harm, I don't care. You can harm yourself all you want. Now there might come occasions where if there's somebody I care about and you're harming yourself, then we might have an intervention. And if you proceed to, want to keep doing that, I'm going to let you know that, hey, I care about you. And the only reason I'm talking to you is because I give a shit, and it's ultimately your choice. Everybody's got their own thing to do. So I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. I hope you all have a great day. I hope everybody that's down there at the parade is having a fun time. I do, because I mean, quite frankly, everybody deserves it. Anybody that was able to make it out here for the 4th of July and enjoy their time here, I hope it's going well. I haven't been up to Yellowstone. I don't know what's happening up there. I don't know what's open, what's not. It's closed, open, washed out, shot out, whatever. I do know that, around town, I mean, I went out to, the old, what do you call it? Wally World last night. And, just dead. All the hotels, I mean, basically empty. I mean, usually the 3rd of July, I mean, the town is going nuts. Like, they used to keep the bars open till 6 a.m. Now we've got like a couple of bars, and I mean, by 9 o'clock. I mean, on the night of the 2nd, we went down to one of the places to see my friend who bartends there. We went in there at 9:08, Friday night, 9:08, Friday night, July 2nd of this weekend. And a lot of people, I think, took advantage of the fact that the 4th fell on today. A lot of people took Friday off, made it a 4-day weekend. You would have thought Friday night. I mean, I remember back in the day, I mean, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, usually by the 4th, things had slowed down except for the real warriors who were still out. But the 3rd used to be just off the chain in this town. Like, you go down to the bar, down to the Silver Dollar here, and I mean, there's no place to sit down. You're lucky to get a drink. Everything is just packed. I mean, people everywhere. Now, this place is just dead. It's dead. Deader than dead. Everything closes at 9. You can't get a bite to eat in this town after 9 o'clock unless you want fast food, which is just sad. It's sad to think that there's not a restaurant open after 9 o'clock. I mean, what do these people think that are, I mean, say you're traveling here, you get here late, you want to have a meal. And you're pretty much, you're stuck with the Golden Arches or, I guess Wendy's stays open a little late. I don't know. I don't do the fast food thing. Well, I'll do Dairy Queen. And then what else? Taco John's once in a while. I usually regret it afterwards, though. We do eat a lot of Domino's, which isn't good for you, but you do what you do. Also started doing that HelloFresh thing recently, and I discontinued it, but it is a good deal. And you get the meals portioned down. It's a pretty good deal. I've been trying to talk to him about maybe plugging them. I guess I just did. But, it is what it is. So, anyway, I don't know. I was just watching some of this, catching up on all the stuff going on. And, we've still got the border thing happening, and I saw that they got these two youngsters from Yakima, Washington. They were coming up from Mexico. 25-year-old Jose Zendejas and 19-year-old Benito Madrigal, and they were stopped on Highway 99 in California. Looked to be maybe outside of Fresno, like south of Fresno. 150,000 fentanyl pills they had. And they got released on no bail. No bail, got released. 150,000 fentanyl pills. Now, fentanyl, that's the reason they use it is because it goes for cheap. But they would, with that bulk, from what I understand, they go for about $5 a piece. So do the math. I mean, at $5 a piece, 150,000, was that $750,000 for a 25-year-old and a 19-year-old? Now, I'm sure they didn't leave with their fentanyl, but they just got cut loose, and I'm sure they went back up to Washington State. So I don't know how how those guys were not a flight risk. I don't know how that didn't go federal. From what I understand, it's not a federal charge, even though they came from Mexico. Me, I got federal charges just for driving up to the border and walking in a hotel room where somebody was robbing somebody that I knew nothing about. That was federal. I don't know what's going on with the justice system. I mean, it doesn't make much sense. But yeah, these guys were released within 24 hours. I mean, and I kind of got the fentanyl thing, I've kind of got I'm pretty much for legalization of drugs across the board. This one killed someone very close to our family. And I knew what it was when it happened. And it took two different reports to show that I was correct in what I thought. And so I've it's some bad shit. That's some bad stuff. I mean, adults are going to do what they're going to do. The fact is that shit's ending up in everything. I mean, it's ending up in vape pens. It's ending up in, you name it. Cocaine, methamphetamine. I mean, it's all over the place. And if your body chemistry isn't right, I mean, it takes a very small amount. I mean, even medical and law enforcement officers that have to deal with somebody that's OD'd, they have to be very careful around them. You all know what's up with it. If you don't educate yourself, be careful out there. I think you can get test kits for this shit. So if you're going out around, I mean, live music is starting back up again. So if you're out there going to concerts and shit, don't just go around the lot and just buy whatever that you think is something that was fun back in the day. Okay. Because chances are you might not make it out of it. You might think you're getting one thing and next thing you know, you got a toe tag. And so these cats are going and doing it. I mean, these are young kids, okay, 25, 19. All right. Hey, I could understand. They fucked up. They made a mistake. But to just let these cats go, and that's not even where they live. I mean, they live a long ways from, Fresno to Yakima. It's a little bit of a haul. And then I saw some stuff from AOC. There was something that's just piqued my interest a little bit because she was at a rally about the Roe v. Wade thing, and of course it led to the rape discussion. And now she had in February of 21 said that she was a victim of sexual assault. I don't wish that on anybody. This is kind of one of those catch-22s because she said it happened. I don't believe anybody was ever charged. There was never a report filed. And I also understand that because, I've got a bunch of numbers here. And I know that oftentimes, more often than not, these type of things aren't reported. Most of these are somebody that, the victim / survivor knows. There's all kinds of crazy numbers here, but I pulled up some earlier today. Each rape in this country costs $151,423 to the United States. And annually, rape costs the United States $127 billion. How about that for that number? Assault is $93 billion. After that, we've got murder at $71 billion, and then we've got drinking and driving at $61 billion. Billion, folks. These are all billions. You know, and then, I mean, I'm looking at some of these numbers, and you got 1 in 5 women will be raped at some point in their life, as opposed to 1 in 71 men. You know, 91% of the victims are women and 9% are men. Or 9% of men, 9% are men. 81% of women are diagnosed with, you know, like a PTSD, you know, type mental thing that happens afterwards. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before they turn 18, and 34% of child abusers are family members. Take that into consideration, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, so, you know, I mean, AOC, you know, just because I don't agree with a lot of her, I've seen her do some grandstanding, and I've seen her, you know, get up there and talk the talk, but when it comes time to walk it, she breaks weak. She said on the 6th of January that she was concerned that she wasn't only going to get killed, but that she was going to get raped by somebody involved in the whole thing that went on at the Capitol. She wasn't in the Capitol. She was at the Cannon. It was the Cannon House office building where her office is. She was in the bathroom, said she heard somebody yelling, "Where is she? Where is she?" The person that came into her office was a Capitol police officer. They were evacuating that building as well. She made it out to sound like a bunch of people had come in and she was hiding out, like barricaded in the bathroom, and just luckily got away from that. Now, that's not, in fact, allegedly what the final say is on the thing, the final word on it, at least from all the research I've done on it. And I'm sure I've probably done a bit more than most people, because like I said, I do my best to make sure that anything I say on here is not screwed up, and if it is, I will retract it. But the thing that kind of got me with her talking about this is she said at 22 or 23 that she was raped, and then she said that she had to take she took a pregnancy test in a public restroom in New York, and had to sit in there and waited. And she said that the thought that went through her mind was, well, at least she had that she would be able to get the abortion if she did have a positive pregnancy test, which it came back negative. Which, in fact, if that did happen to her, then I'm at least, like, you know, glad that that's how that. Not that if she went through that, I mean, that's just, it's fucked up. I don't like rapists. I don't like rapos. I don't like anything about somebody that exercises their power over somebody else. And the bad thing is too, and you know, this isn't being sexist or anything on my part. The majority of people that are victims / survivors of these type of attacks are women. And I know that it's got to be very difficult to report something like this. But you also got to think about it. These people that do this shit, this is not just a one-time deal on you, ladies. These guys do it. This is a repeat deal. This isn't just a one-time slip-up. It's I guess I would call it a chronic behavior, a repetitive behavior. It's not just a one-and-done type thing. They do it again and again until they get caught. And I know it's difficult because a lot, you know, we got to do something about this. You know, this can't keep going on. You know, the females females do not need to be just absolutely terrified. Or the cities are turning to just a nightmare, you know. And men, you need to do something about this too. You see something like this going on, you need to step it up, bro. I mean, what happened to men in this country? I know you're toxic masculinity, right? And this is, you know, this type of shit it perpetuates itself when this is what happens. You know, if you're a man and you stand up and you get, you know, I mean, you get in a situation where you got to get a little violent. I mean, I will get violent. Like, you know, just for example, the situation with that dude that was sitting there on a train raping a woman. People were taking cell phone videos and nobody did shit. I don't care how big he is. I don't care if it's King Kong. I don't care if it's Godzilla. I don't care. You know, I'm not going to sit there. I can't even imagine being on a train car and sitting there and knowing that's going on and just not doing a thing. You know, I've had to go get too many females out of frat houses with this shit going on. And let me tell you what, out there, fathers, you got daughters going to state colleges where they got these fucking fraternities and shit. I mean, I'm of the opinion that I would say don't have your, I mean, you know, your children are going to do what they're going to do. But I would stay out of that Greek life. Because there ain't nothing but bullshit goes on in there. I've seen some of the most stupid, fucked up things ever. Whether it be from, you know, attempted rapes, having to go in and rescue girls out of there in a fucking frat house full of these idiots. I mean, that's what these frat boys are. They're just morons. They're just rich kids that, you know, I mean, we fucked around with them once when I was at school in Reno, and we were acting like we were going to join one, and we were just going up there and just getting, you know, free beer and food, and they'd have like an arm wrestling contest every once or whatever. So we go in there and make money on that. But my good friend, he joined that frat house, and one of his fraternity brothers fucking pitched him out the fucking like the 3rd story window, fucked him all up, paralyzed and shit. That was his brother. These dudes don't care. They're fucking and females, you know, young women, you got to beware. They will put something in your drink before you even know it. They'll take you and lock you in a room. They did it to my friend at the University of South Dakota. I had to go in there after 2:00 in the morning and get her out. Me and 3 other guys gets the whole frat house. Guess who it didn't work out for? That's right. It wasn't us. It was the frat boys. Especially one of them in particular. And he was the one that had her held. And I was pretty hot. And this was a friend of mine. And I told her before, in fact, I said, don't go there. I said, but if you do, I said, you know, beware. And I told her, I said, I've heard of things going on over there. And then, you know, phone rings after 2 a.m. And she's on the other end whispering and crying and everything. No clothes on, locked in a room in the basement of this fucking frat house. This goes on every day in this country. You know? So, hey, parents, you got an 18, 19-year-old little frat boy? Chances are, you know, most of them, their dad was a frat boy too. This is like I think it's you know, from what I gathered, the frat boys, I knew it was kind of one of those things where dad was a frat boy, and so, you know, juniors got to follow in daddy's footsteps, and they go through the rush thing, and they get shit on, and you know, whatever they do in there, I don't know. Who knows? But I've seen firsthand what they do at their little parties, and it's I don't know. The way I see it, they're a bunch of little shitheads that I don't know. They just think that they're able to get away with this stuff because they've gotten away with bullshit like this their entire lives. And a lot of them, I don't think the shit like this started just when they get to college. Some of them, sure. Some of them, I'm sure it went on well before that. Especially as one of these private school. I mean, who knows? I don't know. It's just sick. It's sick. And this thing with OAC is kind of a catch-22 when I look at it, because you sit there and you think, well, God, I hope she didn't go through that. Even though I don't agree with her politically, I don't care if I don't agree with your ideology or your political standpoint or anything. I still don't want to see anything like that happen to anybody. You know, especially at 20. She said, and this is what got me. She said she was 22 or 23, and so I started looking into it. I thought, well, that's kind of weird because I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, well, wouldn't you know? And I can understand it when you're a younger child and you go through something like that. Certainly there are mechanisms within the human brain that are going to kind of, you know, wipe that memory out. But if you're at that age, but I also read that when things like that happen, that you can have it's kind of like a mechanism in your mind to protect yourself. And so you know, dates and things like that can get muddled. So that could be as well. I'm not saying one way or another. It's just one of those things where you're just like, God, I hope she didn't go through that. But then you look at it and you go, okay, well, here she is. She's a, you know, she's a she's a female leader in this country. I mean, she's always on the news, and I feel like she should, if you know, that she should report it. Maybe it's past the statutes and limitations. I tried to look it up and see if there was ever a report made, if they ever knew who it was. As I said, 90% of these things that happen, the victim knows who the attacker was. So chances are, if you're playing the odds, that she knew who it was. I don't know. It's not my business, but if somebody like that were to take charge and lead the way with, you know, making a report, pressing charges, going after that individual, then I think that she would set an example. Because as I said, when this happens, this guy, for the most part, I'm speaking according to statistics here. Okay, I'm not generalizing, because it does happen where things there's things that go the other way. There's things that go different routes. You know, this, that, and the other thing. Predominantly, though, it is men attacking women. The women know the men. If there are charges pressed, reports made, oftentimes it doesn't work out very well. And so I can understand, and that needs to change. I mean, you know, but I think if somebody like OAC were to step up and do that, she's got that platform to where that would be an example to show women that, hey, not only are you, I mean, there's nothing that can ever take that away. You know, it can't, like shit like that somebody goes through, you can't reverse that shit. But you can keep it from happening to somebody else, is what I'm saying. Because when you have something like this, it's a chronic, it's a repetitive behavior. And I think that probably the dudes that are rapos out there doing this shit, all right, that thing's digging into my head. They're probably empowered and think that, you know, every time they get away with it, they become a little more invincible. And that's a sick and sad fucking thing too. And dudes out there that are, look at this the way I do, keep doing, you know, be vigilant out there. I mean, you got younger females in your family, sisters, whatever it may be, sisters, cousins, anybody. I mean, you know, that's the thing. I used to hate hearing that when I, you know, girls that I knew were like going to these frat parties. I didn't like it because I knew what was going on in these places, you know, and it happens all the time. It happens all the time. So anyway, I don't know. That was something I was thinking about. And then like I said, I put out a Facebook post earlier. I don't know if anybody saw it. I do have like 2 cords of wood that I want to just give away. I didn't want to celebrate this 4th of July thing today. I just don't think that we're there. I don't think there's any reason for it. We don't have anything to celebrate. We don't have anything to be proud about. I'm not going to sing Lee Greenwood because I'm not really very proud of much right now. And I don't know how anybody can be. We got people that aren't able to pay their bills, people that are still working, they're taking on extra jobs. We have a president that doesn't give a fuck. He couldn't care less. They asked him, well, how long does this go on? Well, until it's still, he already said this is what he was going to do, people. And all of you 81 million alleged voters for this guy, you knew this is what he was going to do. Trump called it. A lot of people called it. I've been calling it for a long time. Everybody's looked at me like I'm crazy. I've been talking about hyperinflation for probably about a year and a half now and saying it's coming. And it's not going anywhere. You know, when he gets up there and he talks about how we're in a better place than the rest of the world. No, we're not. We're not. We are not in a good place at all. As far as I see it, I mean, everybody wants to go shoot off fireworks and spend a bunch of money getting drunk and stupid. I mean, you might want to save the money. So the deal I made on the firewood, I said if anybody wants it, hopefully somebody wants it. I don't want to just go dump it. I mean, it's green. It just, the tree was just, felled last week or whatever. And I spent the week cutting it up. I mean, big, huge rounds that were like 4 feet tall. And it was, green wood. So it ate up a lot of saw blades. And it took me a long time. I'm pretty beat up actually from this whole experience. At one point, I tripped over a piece of, and then, smashed my elbow, one that already had a fucking fracture in it, from years ago. And so, yeah, I got my ass kicked this week. But I'd like to give it to somebody if anybody wants it. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of my mind, but I know that there's plenty of people that burn wood, and I don't know what cordwood goes for right now. I'm sure it's expensive as hell. Look at lumber costs. I mean, a sheet of shitty plywood is $75. I don't know. I have to look it up and see. I'm really not sure what cordwood's going for right now. I'm guessing it used to be like, I don't know what it was, $180, something like that. Let's see if we can figure it out. Anyway, I'm just offering it to somebody. As long as they're in the city limits. I don't have the money to spend on diesel. Otherwise, I'd deliver it. If this was back in the day when I was spending $75 to fill up a 38-gallon truck with diesel fuel, I'd have no problem taking it wherever. But when I spend $70 at the pump today, I get 11 gallons. And that doesn't really get me very far. That's a lot of money. And it's pinching everybody. I don't even know what I'm going to do. Since I've got a diesel truck, I can't sell the thing. Well, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I'll probably be living in it before too long. Who fucking knows? None of us really do, but it's time that and I'm not fearful, and I don't want anybody else to be fearful either. But what we need to do, okay? And this isn't a matter of, we gotta unite. No, everybody has their responsibility in this first and foremost. Everybody has their share of the responsibility. I don't care how infinitesimal it is. We got 340 million people in this country, so that's a pretty small amount. But everybody, you got to stand up. And I'm making a commitment that I'm standing tall. And seriously, everybody's getting sick of hearing it, I'm sure, but I use hashtag walk away. And I honestly think that it's time that we walked away from this, because it doesn't matter. The cycle just keeps on happening. Okay. It doesn't matter if you vote Republican or Democrat. We're going to keep getting the same shit, and it's just going to keep getting fucking worse, because it hasn't got better. I'm 46 years old. I've not seen things really get, there's here and there something will get a little better. But then something else, it just balance. It's like entropy, right? You all know the second law of thermodynamics is entropy. And it basically means that everything is deteriorating at all times. It's always deteriorating. And this country has deteriorated. In my mind, and I'm not telling anybody what to do. You do you. I love you. I don't care. You want to go out and celebrate and do sparklers and shoot Roman candles out of your butt crack. I don't care. It's fine. You do your thing. If that gives you some joy, then awesome. I just got up this morning and I started writing, and I thought, you know what? I've got this wood out there that I just thought, well, I might as well put it out there, because who knows if there's, elderly, anybody, I don't care who it is, somebody that in need that's worried about it, because there's going to be people that are going to not be able to pay their energy bill. And here in this town, you've got two monopolies, okay? You got fucking Black Hills Energy, right? They're a monopoly on your natural gas. Well, we got natural gas problems, right? And they'll shut you off. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They're a gangster. And then they fucking tack on all their fucking fees and this and that and the other thing. They don't care. You know who they're run by? Do your homework on that. Follow the money. Follow the money trail. It's going to take you to Berkshire Hathaway. And then it's going to take you to BlackRock. It's going to be the stone cold same group that runs all this shit. You look at the city of Cody. They're gangster. City of Cody's the biggest gangster there are. They'll hit you with the fees you don't pay within 5 days of getting your bill. They'll shut your shit down. They'll fucking hit you with reinstallation fees, everything. They don't care. They don't care if you got little kids at home that you're trying to feed. They don't care. They need to have theirs, right? This town doesn't give a shit about anybody. It's just, it's so fucked up. You have people that aren't going to be able to pay their bills. So I don't know. Hopefully this will, hopefully it goes somewhere to somebody. Hopefully somebody can use it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of my mind. But I remember being a kid and we would buy a cord of wood every year. Back then it was like $100. I mean, I used to always have to split it up at my grandpa's house in Alaska when we'd visit. I think I got $5 a cord for splitting. I'd sit out there all day, all night splitting wood. Taught me how to swing a baseball bat though, pretty well. After you sit there and you just chop cordwood all day for a couple, 2-3 weeks. As a kid, pick up a baseball bat, it's pretty light. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. But if you hear this before you see the book face post, I just put it in there. The first 2 people with the fire emoji on the comments, I deliver them the wood. I know everybody's doing shit today. Everybody's out and about. I hope that, I do hope that everybody's having a good day. I'm planning on having a good day myself, but I'm just not going to be celebrating Independence Day because I think that we're very far from that right now at this point in time. We were energy independent. We're not independent on that. If we're not energy independent, then where's our independence coming from? I mean, we're independent because we're not under the rule of Great Britain anymore? I mean, it really doesn't hold much water right now, not to me anyhow. And like I said earlier I think on the last podcast, I always go back to that, the teacher's little deal on Dazed and Confused, where she says, just remember when you're out there this summer celebrating all that 4th of July brouhaha, what you're in fact celebrating is the fact that a bunch of rich, aristocratic, slave-owning white males didn't want to pay their taxes. Now, I don't believe in taxes either. I mean, what do they do with the taxes? I mean, they just allocate money. They just send the money out anyways to go kill more people. Send it to the Department of Defense send it to Raytheon. They got a revolving door. Liz Cheney's the next one that's going to be, I don't see Wyoming voting her, back in. I don't see that at all. I think she knows that. I think she's using this as the revolving door. So she's going to get out of the House of Representatives. And I guarantee you watch and see what happens. Mark my words. She's going to end up at Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Grumman, one of those outfits. And then she's going to use her pull because all she wants to do, she's all about that war. She's all about that war. And she wants to go after Trump because Trump doesn't want to play ball with that. Trump was, he was trying to get out of all this stuff. I don't care what you think of the man. You have to look at the things that he was trying to do. He had a plan to be out of there by May. Corn Pop, he had to go and grandstand and we all saw what happened there. And nobody even mentions that anymore. I don't know how many Americans were left, how many innocent people, how many, you look at the lives that were just turned upside down. And we left what? We left a $1 billion air base, Hummers, helicopters. God knows what was over there. Who knows? In the hands of the Taliban. Al-Qaeda, ISIS. And 20 years and how many deaths? Not just our deaths, how many human deaths, how many human casualties in this whole stupid thing because of George Bush Jr. perpetuating his daddy's fucking oil war, It's just silly. And as I keep saying, I'm still going to keep pushing this. I don't think Joe Biden should be allowed to fly on Air Force One anywhere. I don't think he should be allowed to be in a gas-powered vehicle. I previously said that he could ride his bike, and it was ironic when it happened that he fell off his bike because I'd been saying that for a few weeks prior to that, and I literally just about fell off my chair laughing so hard when I saw the footage of that. I'm glad he didn't. Who knows what happened? I don't know. He may have been in, I don't know. He came out and did that weird hoppy thing. He does weird stuff. Makes you wonder. I mean, one of the funnier ones was the thing on Easter and I think that was his wife, because there was a picture that I saw later, and his wife had the hat. She had the head of the bunny rabbit off, and it was the same rabbit. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're into that furry thing. I'm not sure. But whoever was in the rabbit suit that day at that Easter deal, when he was talking about something he shouldn't have been talking about to the public or whatever, and the Easter bunny came up and scared the shit out of him. If you slow that footage down, it's funnier than how the look on his face. That rabbit scared the living shit out of fucking Corn Pop. I know he's not Corn Pop was a bad dude. Corn Pop. Fucking Corn Pop? I don't know where he lived. Scranton, PA. Scrotum, PA. That's going to be the next one you watch. He's going to call it Scrotum one of these days. Yeah, I don't think he knows much about that. I don't really care. I'm just sick and tired of them all, tell you the truth. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We just need to walk away. So I'm going to do what I can in my personal life to, do whatever I can to help people out and just keep the message going, because I mean, something's got to give here, folks, because this ain't working. And all you out there that talk about democracy, this and democracy that, let's give it a rest, okay? Let's wrap that whole democracy thing up in a bundle and let's just throw it in the trash, okay? Because we don't have that. And even if we did, and you really think about it, it's not that great of a fucking idea. We have people that are not qualified. They're elected based on money, okay? These people that are in office, it's on money. You and me, we can't run for these offices. We don't have the money. We don't have the connections. We're not on the money river like these people are. They're not qualified any more than you or I. In fact, you or I, we're probably more qualified because we're in touch with what people are really going through. And that's what representative government is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be somebody that the people elect, that they believe in good faith that this is an individual that's going to go represent them, right? That it's going to be somebody that's going to go, if you, whatever state you live in, you feel like it's somebody that's going to go and represent you. They don't represent you. They don't care about you or me or any of us. We're just numbers to them. We're numbers, and they are on an eternal quest for power. For some reason, these narcissistic fucking people, that's what it is. It's power. It's control. And I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you're so narrow-minded that you don't understand that you're only here for a short period of time and that could end any time. I mean, it could end in 1 second. I could be sitting here talking and boom, something. I mean, we don't know. And so to spend your whole life working for those ends, the ends of power, to be in control over people, for what? For what? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Nothing about that has anything to do with love, compassion, looking out for your brothers and sisters, being able to accept some help from brothers and sisters when you need it. Now, that's a big problem I have. I don't like asking for help. I don't mind helping people out, no matter how many times I get burned. You know what? I've always looked at it like that. It's like I'll still keep helping people however I can. A lot of times it's with going and fixing something for somebody. Or if I can take somebody some firewood today. Hopefully somebody hits on that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. I just sitting there looking at it and thinking, well, that would be a good thing to do. Somebody that has a wood burning stove and knows they're going to need heat. And I mean, if it comes down to a decision between having to pay that fucking Black Hills Energy and put more money in Warren Buffett's fucking pockets at the end of the train ride, I'd much rather burn some wood in a stove. I wish I had a stove, but they're fucking expensive. I just got an old fireplace. And it doesn't do much. I was going to check the Facebook post here to see. Probably nobody's hit on it. Maybe they is. I got a couple of notifications. Well, a couple people liked the post, but do we have, nope, we got no takers. Well, hey, there's 2 truckloads of firewood. I've got 2 Ford trucks with 8-foot beds in them, ladies and gentlemen. only stipulation is you have to be in the city limits of Cody, and I need a place to back up and get it unloaded. And if you're able-bodied to do a little bit of help with getting it off the truck, I would appreciate that, because, as I've said, I haven't felt my feet in about 3 years, and I tend to stumble over shit now. But as I put in the post as well, I still haven't fallen up the stairs yet. When I fall up the stairs, I'm going to be worried. At this point in time, you know, that crazy thing, I could be out there in the boonies and get bit by a rattlesnake. I probably wouldn't even know it. I mean, honestly, I'm sitting here right now. I'm wiggling my toes. I can't even feel them. Whatever. I don't got that diabetes. I'm not making fun of that either. Don't get offended. I know diabetes is a very serious thing. I feel bad for anybody that has to take insulin, because that shit's through the roof. Just like everything. I mean, look at it. The whole system is just a fucking fiasco. And it's all based on what? What's it based on, folks? Money, right? It's money. It doesn't exist. That isn't real. It's not it's confidence. It's basically, confidence is kind of an intangible thing, right? I mean, it certainly has this influence on things, obviously, but, you know, confidence in something is not, you know, doesn't make it much of anything. And that's all we have. These goofy dollars that we got is confidence, because we think it's worth something. It's worth something. And then everybody talks about they're printing money. Let's do the little thing again. Let's have a look. Let's see what years. I mean, these are all brand new from the bank. Oh, what do we got? I always like looking at the dates on the C notes. Where's the fucking thing? There's none of them that are new. They're not printing money. It's all just a keyboard stroke. That's all it is. Okay, this one is brand new, and this is got a 2009. And that one's a 2017. They look exactly the same. 2009. 2009. 2017. So at the newest one of these that I got in my wallet right now is 2017. Where's all that printed money? It's nowhere. It's on a computer screen. There's no gold bank. Oh, guess what? Uganda. I feel bad for the people of Uganda. I wish they would have been tight-lipped, because they came out and said they found $12 trillion worth of gold in a mine, a gold vein over there. And this is another prediction I'm making. Just watch and see what happens. But Uganda's going to need to get themselves some democracy. You wait and see. We're going to have to get involved in some way over there. It's going to be some kind of a humanitarian crisis in the mines. Watch. It's going to be like people are being mistreated working in the mines, okay? And we're going to have to get involved. And we're going to have to go over there and figure this thing out, because they need some democracy. Watch and see. Uganda, I'm sorry. I wish you would have been tight-lipped on this and just not told anybody about it. Because you're going to get some freedom and some democracy. I can almost guarantee it. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, we're going to get this gold. We're going to have a gold-backed currency. You're not big enough. Because the eagle of freedom of Uncle Sam is coming. Sorry. Don't mean to be, like I said, y'all should have been quiet about that one. I mean, once that comes out, that's it. You're on hit. You're on blast. The Ukrainian thing is a fucking joke. You know, we're funding neo-Nazis to, blow up their own people. They've been doing it for years. They've killed 14,000 people in the Donbass region. I mean, these people, they don't care. They're blowing up bridges with their troops on the other side, just leaving them to whatever, You got these mercenary idiots that went over there to fight. They're getting sentenced to death. There's American people that did the same thing. And it sounds romantic, right? When a situation escalates, when a conflict comes up and the media makes it sound like, oh, we got to get behind this, and you've got these trigger happy ding dongs that, you know, the first thing they want to do is go fight. I mean, I don't believe that those, I don't believe that those guys, you know, the British guys or any American people that got caught up in it should be, you know, put to death. But you play silly games, you win silly prizes, and there's not really a lot. That's kind of out of my sphere of influence, all right? So not much you or I or anybody can do about that. I mean, if you're going to put yourself in a scenario like that and just, you know, go off half-cocked, then, you know, that's what you get. But keep your eye on Uganda, okay? I'm going to put that out there right now. Keep your eye on Uganda. They found what they estimate to be about a $12 trillion payload of gold. Uganda's going to get some democracy. They're going to get some freedom. There's going to be something that's going to come up. We're already fucking with Ethiopia, Somalia. These are some of the poorest countries on the planet. We're over there making their lives worse. Way to go. Happy Independence Day, right? I mean, we're just the global bullies, and we got, you know, Corn Pop at the reins right now, and it doesn't matter. When Corn Pop's done, it'll just be somebody else. You know, I mean, my idea is we need to start taking care of what we got going on in, you know, our own dirt, our own backyard. And I'm not really in a celebrating mood, and I put this in that post I put out earlier, and, you know, until we eradicate homelessness, until we got kids that aren't going hungry, kids that have, you know, we got kids that with good shoes and clothes on, you know, until you don't see the despair in parents' eyes that, I mean, I see it all the time. Parents, you tell they're just thinking, what's tomorrow going to bring? And it happens to all of us because, I mean, it doesn't matter. You get to a point where sometimes you think, hey, everything's great. And then boom, you get side-slapped with something that, you know, just wipes you out. And it's all about money. So think about that. Think about the majority of the stress in your life, okay? For most of you out there, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that financial stress is the thing that's probably on your mind most of the time. It's on my mind constantly. How are the bills going to get paid? How is this going to happen? How is this going to get taken care of? Constantly. It doesn't end, and it just is getting worse. I mean, $100 bill, it might as well be a $5. You know, I mean, the inflation rate that all these people are saying it's at, no, it's not at that. And it's just getting worse. And it's going to continue to get worse because we're going to let it get worse. Guess what? It's time to stand tall. I'm not talking about any violence or nothing like that, but it's time to do what we need to do. We know how to go out there, and we the people are the ones who produce. We're the ones who pull the oil out of the ground. We're the ones that refine it. You know, these corporations are in bed with the government, and we've allowed it to happen. So they're, you know, instead of sitting here and blaming these people, now, yes, they are ultimately evil and responsible, but we also are complicit in all this shit. Anybody that's my age, guess what? You want to bitch about the millennials? Guess what? You got millennial kids, don't you? You're responsible for it. You know, I'm proud of my kid. He works his ass off. He's already got a raise. He just started working this year at 14. And I mean, he's out there busting his hump every day. He's going into work again today. Worked till midnight last night. He's doing good. I couldn't be more happy with him, you know. But I've tried to instill that in him, and he's seen that from me over the years. And what do? Y'all know what that's like. You work. And that's life. No, so what's, you know, I mean, sit down and think about these things. What are you working for? You're ruining the only years of your life. This is the only, as far as we know, this is all we got. And we're spending it getting broke down, beat up. I mean, I'm sitting here going, shit, you know, I'm 46 years old and I can't feel my feet. You know, I'm in fairly good shape. Don't smoke cigarettes. Eat pretty well. Don't eat sugar. You know, have a cocktail here and there. I mean, gotta do something. You know, I don't know. It seems pretty silly, especially when we live in on a planet that is just full of resources. Look at that. I mean, look at that. Uganda, $12 trillion worth of gold. Just found it. How long people been living in Uganda? I mean, there are resources on this planet. And a metal resource, I mean, metal is just worth something because it's scarce, scarcity. But there needs to be a paradigm thought shift, and it definitely has to be regarding the money system, the way money works. Until we do something about that, nothing changes. It just gets worse, because the only way that it keeps going is by debt. And you think there's going to come a time, if the credit card companies were to recall all their debt today, if everybody out there that owed money for something was to pay it off, we'd have no money. Do you understand that? So it has to keep accruing. And how long can that go? It can't just go on forever. People are already losing confidence. And I encourage everybody to lose confidence. We're in a time of opportunity. And quite honestly, I think about it, I think we probably need to embrace this whole thing just imploding. Because to just keep propping it up, y'all know the saying about just rip the Band-Aid off. The sooner that happens, the sooner that, the thing gets healed up. You know what I mean? But we just keep piling old rancid Band-Aids on a festering wound, and it just keeps getting pussier and grosser and sicker, and I mean, you get gangrene, you start losing limbs, metaphorically speaking. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're trying to do. We just keep trying to put these fixes, and we listen to these idiots that we've elected. They don't know anything. They're a bunch of dipshits. I mean, watch Congress, and Jesus Christ. All you have to do is just turn on the TV, and then you want to just run away screaming. And so I got rid of the cable and all that, and watch different alternatives for, information. Because the TV isn't giving it to you, but you're not going to get it there. So anyway, hit me up if anybody wants the. I'm only giving one cord of wood. I'm not taking two cords to the same person. So just so you know, if you're paying attention to it, or if you're interested. All you got to do, fire emoji at the bottom of the Facebook post. And I will make arrangements to deliver it to you today, tomorrow, whenever. I don't care. What do I got to do? Go ride my dirt bike? That's what I'm going to do right now. I'll go out there and, I don't know, go find some fossils. Stay away from the snakes. Yell at some antelope. Just kidding, I don't yell at the antelope. I don't do the Kanye thing with them. All right. Y'all have a good day. If you're with family, enjoy your time. Have a burger or a dog or a tofu, whatever you eat. Have one for me. May your glasses be filled. Cheers. Let's get through this thing. All right. Let's get on the other side of it. I mean, life is moving along fast enough. It'd be nice to leave something better for our kids, wouldn't it? Just saying. All right. In all things, be kind. Be good or be good at it. And do no harm. And if you do, recognize it, make it right. With that, I am out of here. Maybe.